Good morning, everybody. Coach Tommy live. It is Smashing Plastic podcast time. As you can tell, today's a work day for me. Not smashing any plastic, but I do get a chance to get a new face on our podcast to introduce herself. She's got a really cool thing going, and it's a great time to talk about this kind of stuff. So, Sandy Halkett, tell everybody who you are and where you're at.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sandy Halkett. I'm in Greenville, Greer area of South Carolina with
God's country, God's country up there. It's God's country.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother. That's right.
That is awesome. Well, tell everybody, Sandy, what you do, and we'll talk a little bit about that.
So I run a nonprofit called Adaptive Pickleball, where we make pickleball playable for anybody with any type of disability.
Really?
That we kind of use the term diverse ability.
Okay, I like it.
And anybody with a diverse ability, whether that's a physical or cognitive, we work with them, get them to play the game that we all love. We also have a branch of our program that works with our veterans, and that's with or without a diverse ability. We want to give our veterans a place to come, be together, heal, have community, and we encourage their families to come out with them and play.
How long have you been doing this, Sandy?
Well, it's been a concept since about 2019. We've been talking about it, trying to model it after what I do with golf.
Okay.
I'm a golf instructor by trade, and I work with people with different diverse abilities with golf. And so it's kind of been a concept since 2019, talking about it. In 2020, we put it into motion. And some of our videos are dated because we're all wearing masks because of COVID.
Right.
But we didn't let that stop us. We put masks on, and we got some good court time, and tested the ground and see what it was like for pickleball for these folks. And nobody wanted to leave the gym. Of course, you know what that's like. So as much as we love the game, so do they. Maybe even more because they find a sport that they can play. And in 2021, I got the letter from the IRS that we are an official nonprofit.
Wow. Well, there's a lot to unpack there. So, Sandy, a little bit about me. So, believe it or not, I have a golf background as well. So, I'm a baseball coach by trade, but I actually came into golf because I got hurt as a collegiate baseball player. Fell in love with golf. I played it ever since I was a little kid, but nothing super competitive. And then, believe it or not, ended up becoming a golf pro out of college. So I did that a couple of years, got really into it. And what I want to do is kind of connect you with your golf background into the pickle and see how and what that looks like, right? Like, so how in the world did you go from golf, and it sounds like you're still involved with golf, to pickleball? How did that happen?
Started Special Olympics 25 years ago for golf. Greenville didn't have a golf team for Special Olympics. So I started that team 25 years ago. We're still going strong. In fact, we leave for Myrtle Beach tomorrow for our state competition for our Special Olympic team. I started working with folks with disabilities. I connected with our rehabilitation hospital here in Greenville called Roger C. Peace. And one of the therapists reached out to me. He knew what I was doing with Special Olympics, and he said, "Hey, I want to work with people from the hospital that are coming out of rehab for, whatever physical limitation they may have." So he and I started working together. Might have been one of the first adaptive golf instructors in the state. I'm not sure. So we started working together. And then lo and behold, my father had a stroke. So the man that taught me how to play golf, I'm now teaching him how to play out of his chair because he's completely paralyzed on his left side. So it just really opened the world up to me that we can still bring joy. It may look a little differently for these folks, but so then I started working with the physical, the cognitive. Golf just really was a great platform to reach these folks and to give them encouragement, hope, get them, whether they played before or not. And many of them had never played golf before. And they're like, why would I want to play now? I've had a stroke. Why would I want to play now? I've lost my leg. Why would I want to play now? I lost my left arm. And I'm like, so they never played before, but they found that golf could be totally a game they could play with their disability. We could make it work. So a friend of mine came out and saw what I was doing with golf, and he was like, "Wow!" He's like, "This is pretty awesome what you're doing. You're a good pickleball player. You're playing high level pickleball. You're teaching pickleball. Have you ever thought about doing this with pickleball?" And I was like, "I haven't, but now I'm going to be thinking about it." So thought about it and asked the rehabilitation hospital, "Hey, can we make this work?" And there was a little pushback because they tried it with tennis. It didn't work with tennis. It didn't work with tennis. We just couldn't get it going. I said, "Well, this isn't tennis. It's a different game. It's got a funny name, but let's try it." And so we invited my golf team, my Special Olympics golf team out. We invited folks from the hospital with more physical diverse abilities out. And man, of course, it was just unbelievable experience. Our eyes lit up, their eyes lit up. Nobody wanted to leave the gym. And that was right around COVID. And so we knew
Okay.
we had something special. And we modeled it very much after what I do with golf. We modeled the program after that. And so it just sort of started to grow organically. It was a nice movement. It was comfortable. It was something I was used to. We just, adaptive pickleball. We change the game. We adapt the game to the individual.
So
And so
for
that's
me as a coach, what I'd like to know is walk me through what that adaptive part looks like. So scoring, would I understand that if I saw you guys play pickle, I would imagine you've got to be very close to the way that we play pickle, right? Or if you would walk our audience through like what adaptive pickleball looks like and what you guys are doing in order to accommodate, the sport that we all quote unquote player that we know, but how do you guys do what you do in order to, because obviously it's going to be fun no matter what, right? It's going to involve a pickleball and a paddle. We're going to have fun with it, but walk us through what that looks like and what you guys are doing.
so basically we start with skills, and we have what we call skills athletes, and those
Okay.
athletes may stay in skills forever.
Okay.
We actually start with balloons. We start with beach
Okay.
balls. We start with our hands first, just getting hand
Okay.
eye, looking at the athlete. Are they tracking this object? Does it need to move slower for them, which might be a beach ball or a balloon? Then we put the paddle in their hand. And again, we may be still working with that beach ball or balloon. Then we size it down to the actual pickleball. So we have skill athletes. We start with paddle taps. How many paddle taps can they do in a row? Then we graduate them out of paddle taps into just simple volleys, ground strokes, and we're tossing the ball. As a coach, we haven't put a paddle in our hand yet, because you got to think that that ball comes off our paddle with some force, some velocity. They may not be able to track it. So we're just tossing the ball with them, getting them to hit it back to us, kind of seeing what kind of movements they have, what their gait is like. We want to make sure nobody falls. If they need a sports chair, becoming a nonprofit was a big part of acquiring these sports chairs that they can play safely in. So we may need to put somebody in a chair that doesn't tip over on them, and those chairs are around $4,000 to $5,000 per chair, and they're size specific. So right now we're kind of looking at the individual, deciding, do they need to be in a chair? Are they okay standing? And then our courts are assigned based on their ability. So we'll have a court for skills. We'll leave those folks on skills. We're like, okay, they're starting to move and track and get the ball. We'll put them into a game of unified pickleball. So that would be you and I, say, partnering with somebody with a diverse ability. We're going to give them an extra bounce. A lot of rules in the adaptive world say that only the person in a chair gets two bounces. And we struggle with that because a lot of our athletes don't move very well. They don't track very fast. They need that extra bounce, whether
Sure.
they're in a chair or not. So we allow them that extra bounce. If they have a diverse ability, whether they're in a chair or not, we give them two bounces. Now we'll graduate them out of that. Eventually, if we see that they're moving, last night, for instance, we have an athlete. I was like, I'd really love to see you get rid of that second bounce, and it gives them a goal to get to. We also give them a second serve, you know? So we've adapted the game to the individual, but we do graduate them out if they get to that point. And then we can have a court where maybe all four players some are in chairs, some are standing. Again, they all have a diverse ability, but they're all playing a game of pickleball. It looks just like the game we're playing, except for we give them maybe an extra serve for those that need it and those an extra bounce that need it. Now, what we found was there was a huge gap between a skills player and somebody ready to play unified. And we just felt like they would be in skills for a very, very long time. And so we came up with a game called Thunderball. And Thunderball bridges that gap between a skills player and a unified player. And we took all the hard rules and got rid of them. So we let them serve for wherever they have success. So we obviously start them at the baseline. And if they can't get it over the net, take one step in. Okay, maybe take another step in. Oh, you're having success here. This is where you're going to serve from. We do rally scoring. It's a little bit easier for them to do rally scoring than what server am I doing. And we don't switch sides. We find what side of the court the player has the most success, and we leave them
Makes
there the whole
sense.
game.
Got
Okay.
it.
So
Got it.
again, and Thunderball will probably be unified, or we'll have two players with diverse abilities and a coach behind them, kind of picking up the slack. So it's kind of like 3-on-3, if that needs to happen. And their serve can go anywhere on the other side of the court as long as it clears the non-volley zone, and either player can return serve. So everybody's got to be paying attention and on their game. And so it's a really fun game. They love it. It bridges them out of skills. The first rule of Thunderball is each side has to come up with their team name. And we get some fun, crazy team names. And so, yeah, it's good fun. So Thunderball has been working well for us too. And then you may come out and see us at a play day, and we may have Four Square set up. So Four Square is like, I don't know if you played Four Square as a camper
In high school, yeah, high
in
school and stuff. Yeah.
camps and churches and schools, Four Square, but it's pickleball Four Square, and it's actually a
Okay.
net. It's and the whole basically, you think of each square as basically a non-volley zone. Or you can, again, we've even changed that rule a little bit too, but we get 4 players in there. There's a line of another 4 players waiting to come in. So every time somebody, messes up, they're out, the next player's in, and it just keeps rotating around and around. So Four Square is super fun. A lot of it, we can't get the coaches to stop playing. The coaches get there early to play Four Square, and then we're like, okay, coaches, we need you over here. But no, that's been another game that we've been playing. So you can see the progression we start with.
I love
And
it. As a coach, I love the creativity, and I love the fact that you don't feel like you have to get stuck in a box and it's got to be this rigorous routine and it has to be this way or we can't play it. Like that's the natural and the beauty part, not just of pickleball, but of like what you're doing with, and I can tell just in a brief conversation with you, like you've got a heart to serve, you're there to make sure they're having a good time. And if we need to adapt a bounce or if we need to adapt a serve or if we need to adapt a location, it's not going to take away from the validity of what we're trying to do, right? And that to me is the biggest part of all of this is just literally learning how to smile through it.
Dive into the world of smashing plastic pickleball, where it's more than just gear, it's an experience. Discover incredible events meticulously planned for you and top-notch coaching by certified PPR professionals. Smashing Plastic Pickleball, not just a brand, but a community that elevates your game and passion. Come join the excitement today. Visit our events, experience top-tier coaching, and be a part of something extraordinary at Smashing Plastic Pickleball.
And it's progress over perfect. And I would imagine you probably get some players that are probably getting pretty good, I would imagine, right? You got anybody you want to brag on that's really stepping up to the plate and becoming a dog? I bet you've got some animals that are birthing from this, I bet.
we do. We actually have a a veteran who's also has a physical disability. He lost his leg, so he has a prosthetic. He's one of our veterans. He was one of our first in the program. He now goes out and plays able body pickleball and has his own community in able body land. And so we just applaud him. He's come back. We're like, you can't leave APB just because you're playing able body. We still want you. And he's like, oh, I'll never leave
Right.
APB. Y'all gave me my place. You gave me hope. He was homebound, depression, fear. We've gotten him out of the house. And now he's come back to APB, and he's gone through our coaches training program. And now he went from an athlete to now he's one of our coaches. And he's out there playing able body and killing it.
Things that, and we're actually, believe it or not, Sandy, looking at doing down here. I actually had a very good meeting last week with. I think we're going to be launching a program of Pickle for Purpose at our church, and basically twice a month on Sundays, we're literally going to set up temp nets in our parking lot and just introduce people that have heard about this pickle thing, but they're, you know, the deal. They're nervous. They don't know the rules. They don't know nobody. Like all of the things that everybody has. You know, nobody's not prone to that, right? Like it's a foreign object and a foreign game. So I want to eliminate that. And I would love if you would segment me into the next part, which is probably going to be a part that makes a big smile. Is walk me through your community and how social, right? Like how healthy social wise. Like I'm glad that we're bouncing the ball and I'm glad that we're getting exercise, but how social is that group that you're working with, and how friendly, and how many friends have you made already doing what you're doing right now through this beloved program that you're working on?
Well, I don't think there's a number I could put to it, because not only do we get the community of the athletes, but the parents sit and they, you know, well, a lot of the athletes don't drive themselves, especially the
Right.
cognitive, right? There's a few that do. And the parents sit and they now have community. And then we meet the parents, we meet the athletes. And, you know, it's unbelievable, the social part. Just like what our veteran experienced. He said, you know, I would come down the hill and they'd be like, hey, come on down, we're waiting on you. He just felt like, oh, are they talking to me? Like, yeah, come on down. Like he never experienced that before. And so we celebrate our athletes. We do a paddle arc where we put our paddles together and they run through it. They got to give me one word that pickleball means to them or what they experienced today. And so, yeah, we're building this huge community. We were in the Greenville Poinsettia Christmas Parade, and we had almost 70 people walk behind our float with our APB hoodies on. And people saw that as we went down Main Street, and they were like, there's something special there with this. We call ourselves a family. I mean, we are APB family. And we're, at the end of the day, we're not coaches and athletes. We're a family, and we're all together. And it's just a beautiful thing to witness.
So I absolutely love it. And I cannot wait, you know what I mean, for Sean's going to do a really good job of, I promise you, showing you some, you know, some clips and stuff of the ABP that you guys have going on, which is going to be great. And, you know, the area that you're in has got such an amazing group anyway, right? So tell folks, like, so right now, and that's going to be the next segment, is where you're at. What are some of the goals, the visions of this? Because this is obviously a thing that can rapidly, I would say, impact every community. There's folks on this podcast right now that are in Minnesota going, well, how in the world do I get a part of this? Where are you at right now? And what are some of the areas that you've grown into, and what are some of the areas that you're growing into? How about that?
Sounds good. So we're based out of Greer, South Carolina, which is basically Greenville, also Greenville. We've gone all the way into Spartanburg. We have a program there. We also have a program we call Blue Ridge, APB Blue Ridge, and it encompasses, you know, Pickens, Seneca, Oconee, Clemson, that area. And we've just started this year. Now we're in Lexington and Columbia, South Carolina. You know, our goal would be to have the state covered, where somebody in South Carolina can find us and go to a program. You know, a goal would be that these sports wheelchairs are not cheap, $4,000 to $5,000 a chair, and they're size specific. So I've got to put the right person with the right size in the right chair, to make sure they don't get a rub, or that the chair, you know, isn't too tight or too loose for them. So in order for each hub to have chairs, it's going to take some time to raise that money. I do see us eventually one day, don't know how it's going to happen, but it'll happen. I believe that we'll have our own facility. And we, you know, borrowing courts from the city, the county has been great. And they've been, you know, open to having us, welcoming us. But it is crowded. The courts are getting crowded, and it would be fantastic to have eventually maybe a little facility. We can employ some of our participants to help us run it, and give them a home, and a place to store the chairs and so on. So, that may happen. I feel like it will eventually. But right now, city, county, churches are opening their doors to us. We pack up all the equipment in a big truck and head on to wherever our next play day is. So folks can help in many ways to help us get the chairs, to help us get the facility, to help us grow toward Charleston, where you guys are at. Would love that.
Yeah, have you had the luxury or benefit of partnering? Do you have any vendors that you're partnered up with as far as paddles, balls, any of that stuff to this date?
No, we don't have any necessarily partners. We've had some folks donate a few paddles here and there. Our community is good about, hey, I'm getting a new paddle, because you know what that's like. Everybody gets a new paddle.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
we get
Absolutely.
we kind of get their gently used paddles.
Okay.
So we don't have a main pickleball sponsor or partner.
Okay. Well, I feel like definitely from this podcast, hopefully we can get your message out, because I have some fun-filled news that the rock stars that are listening to this can definitely probably help you with that. That's for sure. And I know there's an amazing community that we are a part of, that you're a part of, that want to help any way we can. So that brings me up to basically, what are some of the things that you see in the near future? I would say, of who all participates in this. Is there an age limit? Is there not an age limit? How do we reach you? Like, give us some of that stuff on how in the world do we find you?
Okay, so they can go to adaptivepickleball.com, and that is our website. They can go to veteransplaypickleball.com. That is another one of our websites. Of course, on that is my number. They can certainly reach me there. We don't have an age limit. We've had some young ones come through, 4 and 5 year olds. And of course, we've had some older ones in their 80s. So yeah, no age, and no documentation. We don't need a doctor's note that says you have a diverse ability. We believe you. Come on out. We do try to have our therapists on site when we have a lot that are in chairs, to help us understand that world of that person's diverse ability, so the therapist can help us understand that. Make sure we get them transferred into a chair safely. If they want the chair, always good to know that they're coming beforehand. If they go to the website, they're going to see a lot of play days, and maybe there's one that maybe won't be too far of a drive, and let me know
Sure.
they're coming, and come on out and participate.
Well, I would definitely, if you're open to it, I would definitely love to clear my calendar one day and come up there and participate with you guys, and you guys can show me how you smash this thing around, and that would definitely be a big treat for me to participate in some of those rock stars that you have up there, and we'll maybe we can get Sean to shoot some film and get some good content on there. You guys doing what you guys do.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate this opportunity, this platform that you've given us to speak on. So just can't thank you enough, and would love to have anybody that wants to come and participate as a coach or participant.
That is awesome. All right, Sandy. So I'm gonna put you on the spot. You're a golf coach, you're a pickleball coach. Give us one tip. Here we go. Right, we got to have somebody from, let's just say, North Dakota. Let's say Nora, who lives in North Dakota, is listening to Sandy on the podcast of Smashing Plastic. What is one tip in the world of pickleball? And it could be a mental thing, it could be a physical thing. What is one thing that you'd love to share with Nora in North Dakota?
So, okay, Nora in North Dakota, just starting out in your pickleball game, just remember to serve and stay. Serve and stay
Okay.
back. Yeah, we call the baseline, we've changed the terminology when I'm teaching pickleball. The baseline is the loser's line, and the kitchen is not the kitchen line, it's the winner's line. So
Oh,
you
I
want to
like it.
escape, off the loser's line, because we find that more people that stay back end up losing the point. But get your team up there. Not when you're serving, you're not in a hurry to get up there like you are when you're the returner. I think a lot of people confuse that, and they think, get to the kitchen. But only, I think, when you're serving, do you take your time and get up there together as a team. Don't leave your partner, stay together. You're not in a hurry. Be patient, get up there and get yourself established. On the other side, the returner, return and run, R&R, baby, get up there. So don't take the same mindset as the returning team as the serving team. You have two different mindsets, and just remember that when you first start, and I think you'll be fine.
Really, really, really good words of wisdom. And as a coach, I have to ask you, since you coach both golf and pickle, do you find that folks pick up pickle faster than golf? That's one of the things that I love so much about when I coach pickleball now as compared to when I used to coach golf. I mean, it would take, as you can imagine, and you know this because you've coached golf, but it takes days, sometimes several lessons in order to get Timmy to be able to get the ball in the air. Whereas with pickleball, like I really do feel like within a 35-minute, 45-minute window or an hour, I mean, we can get to where we're playing. So that's one of the beautiful things about coaching pickleball that I feel like as we get results a little bit quicker. I'd love to hear your input on what you think on that.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, pickleball it has a little easier learning curve, and we can get them out there playing a lot faster than you can say somebody's going to get out there and play golf. Play golf has a lot of components, you know, from you got a bag with 14 clubs in it. You have one pickleball paddle. You you have all these different aspects of the game, and golf's a huge funnel. You start really, really wide with your fairway. You got this long driver. You got to tee it up. You got ball position, and then it funnels into the fairway, the green, the cup, and all those little nuances of getting it into that little hole. It takes a while, but I think there's such a challenge with golf that intrigues people. Maybe it's not as social because you stay in your
Right,
foursome for 4 hours,
right.
5 hours out there on the golf course. So the community of golf. It's a little bit more intimate of a setting. You're with those people for 4 hours. You're maybe in the cart with somebody right next to them. But there's something beautiful about that game, and it's very intriguing, and people want to try to get out there and do it. Golf is fascinating in that respect because every hole I see as a manicured park. That only people that are playing golf get to see that hole, and maybe it's a group of holes, and there's waterfalls, and there's animals out there on the course, and the trees, and the setting, and the landscaping. It's beautiful, right? I mean, you're in a manicured park for 5 hours, and then pickleball, they all look the same. All the courts look the same. But that's a very social game. So, there's so many great aspects of both sports. And I guess it just depends on what you need at the time. I think everybody can play. I think everybody can play both sports, with or without a diverse ability. And so,
Yeah, wonderful point. And I feel like there are a lot of similarities, but there's also one of the best things that I thoroughly enjoy coaching pickleball over golf more so is that you can make those immediate adjustments and you can actually have like rapid changes very quickly. Whereas in golf, for instance, I mean, we may have one tee shot every hole. Whereas in pickle, we have a serve literally every shot. So there's a lot more ability to course correct, you know what I mean? Very instant, like, hey, let's make some adjustments. And between you and I, that builds hope, right? Like you're now able to improve quickly, which allows the retention of your student and your player to get better so much quicker. It's hard to get good in golf. Like it really is a dedicated discipline in order to get good at golf. But in pickle, we really can rapidly get to the point where we can get good at pickle. And then it creates a whole nother level, right? Now you're like, okay, now I want to get to 3-5 or I want to get to 4-0 or I want to play my first tournament. Or before you know it, you're going on tour, right? Like everybody in the world is going on tour in pickle that I coach. And I'm like, you just learned like last week. I don't think we're going on tour. You know what I mean? But it's an exaggeration, but that's what I like about pickle is that you feel like you can get good a lot quicker than any other sport that I have been a part of. That's for sure. And for adaptability that you're dealing with, I feel like that's got to be a huge benefit for those guys and gals that can see immediate, like, holy cow, I can get the ball over the net my first day here. I can actually score like literally within a few minutes of learning how to play pickleball. You can actually be a true participant and actually the sport, which is awesome, which is
you,
awesome.
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And what I'd love to see, um, I'd love to see pickleball kind of adopt a handicap system like we do in golf. Um, and it could be so simple. Like if I'm playing you and I've got to spot you 2 shots a hole, right? Well,
Right, right.
I get a par and you make a double. Well, we're even.
Or even, right.
Right. So what about pickleball? What if we handicap it where you have to get to 15, but I only have to get to 11?
Right. I
You
love
know,
it. I
I don't
absolutely
like
love it.
I don't like starting like I get to start at 4 and you get to start at 0. I like, no, we're going to start at 0, but you have a higher score you have to get to than I do. And I don't know, it could be something like that.
I think
Um,
it's great. It's a great point because if you start people off the other way to where, for instance, if it's 4-0 me and you, and that's the handicap system, that's way different than being 0-0 and I go to 11 and you go to 7. Way different mindset. Way different mindset.
yeah. So yeah,
I love it.
maybe that's happening. Maybe somebody will hear that and be like, "Hey, yeah, that's a good point." But we can
It's a
also do
great
it.
point.
We can also do it amongst ourselves, right? Like when we're out
That's true.
playing.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, I'm gonna
absolutely.
spot y'all. How many? I'm gonna spot y'all 4. Y'all gotta. Okay, let's go. And now I'm a 4-5. You're a 4-0. We can play together.
Yes.
You got to get to
I,
11. I got to get to 15. Let's go. And so,
I
um,
love that. As a mentality of you thinking into that, it just goes to show you how good of a coach and how much you're around it. Because at the end of the day, one of the things that I have seen, and I don't know if you're seeing this or not too, but the exclusivity of pickle is growing. And the reason it's growing is because people are getting better. And what I mean by that is now me and Sandy and Sean and Scott, well, we're all 4-0s, so we can't play with anybody that is less than a 4-0. I'm starting to see that more and more and more. So you're getting these exclusive groups and these, you know, the deal, these certain times that only certain people can play. And I understand it. I thoroughly do. Just like in golf, it's really tough as a scratch handicapper to play with somebody that's a 20 handicapper. Like I understand the concept, but the most beautiful part about pickle is the social aspect of it. As much as I love being a competitive player, the social aspect of pickle is the best part about pickleball. So you coming up with these creative ways of, okay, well, Sandy and Sean, they're going to play to 11. Tommy and Scott, well, they've got to play to 15. Now all of a sudden it evens out something to where we're not like feeling, oh, I can't play with Sandy because of X, you know what I mean, or because of
right.
Y. And I really like that mindset. I do a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope it explodes and other people use it or use it somehow. We can make this happen, make this movement happen, the handicap system happen. Maybe we call it something else. But I just modeled it, sort of after what we do with golf, and we can go out and play and enjoy the game. You just know you got to spot somebody a shot or two a hole. It changes the game. So I
I
think we
love
can
it.
have something like that here in pickle. I think so too.
Well, you have been great. I'm definitely, like I said, if you're open to it, we'll get mobilized. We're going to come see you one day and get some good content and smash some plastic with you and your rock stars up there in that God's country area of Clemson and all that stuff. That is just, it's beautiful. I cannot thank you enough. If you don't hear
Thank
that
you.
from me, Sandy, thank you so much for what you're doing. You are growing the game and you are absolutely a difference maker. Looking forward to seeing you in the future for sure.
Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate you.
Hey everyone, Coach Tommy here. Thanks for tuning in to Smashing Plastic. Big shout out to Sean Monahan for the music, production, and editing. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe for more awesome content, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Those links are in the description. Now let's get out there and smash some plastic.